Oh my goodness. What is going on, everyone? Anywho, just wanted to hop on here real quick. I see a lot of craziness and madness going on in the world right now, and I want to talk about it. This is a Diva Disturbed. I don't know what number it is. I think we got about 35, 36 in the can so far. But it's a lot going on. First of all, I hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving. I hope everyone got along. Didn't no fights break out at the dinner table over Big Mama's chicken leg, turkey leg. Let's see what else usually goes down at Thanksgiving. But I just hope everyone had a good one. I did. It pretty much was just me and Bay and the dog at home yesterday. Because, yeah. It took a lot for me to make a pimp decision about whether I was going to cook this year. But since the boo, he loves Thanksgiving, I figured, why not? Hey, Maria, thanks for joining. Felicia, Ashanti, welcome. Baby, let me tell you about these educated professional reads. Okay. Oh, well, first of all, was anyone as excited as I am that subscribes to Vogue? As y'all know, I'm a fashion junkie. It came in the mail today. Oh my God. I'm going to start crying because I love Michelle Obama and I don't want her to go nowhere. Ah, Jesus. Why, Lord? But don't she look good? Now, does this first lady look like an ape in heels to any of you? No. Just a beautiful black woman that looks better than some of these women. Now, a lot of these women have been pooching around here talking about Michelle Obama very boldly. And I'm like, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all hate us. And then when you look at these women that are making these comments about how Melania is going to be so superior and all that, you thinking, girl, you got hate in your heart and you ugly on the outside. You need to pick a struggle. Either you going to be hateful or you just going to be ugly. You can't be both. You might want to try to be nice. I'm just saying. Some of y'all need to get over it because, honey, we black, we here, and we gonna stay, okay? And if you knew what science was, as Roland Martin tried to educate that very stupid young man that was on the show with him who claims to be alt-right. And I'm like, you are not alt-right. No, honey, you a neo-Nazi. Okay. All of the stuff that you are saying is the propaganda machine spread by none other than Adolf Hitler. A man with a horrible mustache. And I, for the life of me, cannot understand why you people think that that's okay. It's not. I mean, when Roland Martin was talking to him, his speech at the whatever the alt-right meeting is, or whatever they call white nationalist, he was saying that white basically was superior. And I'm like, no, sweetie, no. We all one human race. But scientifically, black people carry the DNA for everybody. Okay, with two very dark-skinned black people can make a white baby. Okay. It don't matter. We can flip it in and out, in and out. Now, some of those are known as recessive genes. But Richard Spencer, I want to encourage you to please go back to science class and take a science class, okay? Take something. Take biology, anatomy. Do something. Learn something. Child, he said he was a cultural Christian. I said, what the hell is that? That's what I want to know. He said that basically he was raised Christian, but he don't follow the precepts. Okay, so basically you have strayed away from the church. Okay, that's okay. He said that Egyptians are not black, or African, I should say. It was like, how they not African and on the continent of Africa. Then he said something about, well, so if you're white in South Africa, you're not African. I'm like, but you just said Egyptians weren't, so now you're going to claim that South Africans are. Either they are or they aren't. What's going on with you? Y'all need to watch that video in its entirety. He doesn't understand the concept of affirmative action. He doesn't seem to understand who the GI Bill benefited. When people came back from the war, what was the GI Bill? I think it was after the Vietnam War. White males benefited the most from it, because even though you were supposed to be able to get an education, buy a home, all of this stuff, things that happen were things known as redlining, which is why we have something that the banks have to provide statistics on, especially the major ones, Community Reinvestment Act, to prevent World War II. Thank you, Samantha. It was after World War II. Thank you for the hair compliment, girl. It's one of my girls. She'll be on the blog. um, So, I mean, it was just a bunch of stuff. I'm like, I honestly think that these people are just, it's kind of like they have a griot in their family and they just listen to whatever they say and they don't read for themselves. Just like these, thanks, Aurora Pam, how are you? Um, just like, you know, how we have stories that are passed down and passed down. I really don't think that these people are reading. And then some of them claim to be Christians. And like today I was reading on one of my friends' page, there's an article where a man wrote into a food bank and basically said that poor, welfare, black, lazy, and all this stuff are the people benefiting from the food bank. The thing is, though, with the food bank is that all they did was send out a solicitation flyer to ask people for donations or whatever, and I guess this person felt some type of way and just decided to write a scathing letter. Let me see if I can find that letter, because it was really sad. And I'm like, if you didn't want to donate, why would you say anything? I mean, really. Samantha, I saw you over there with your leftovers. Girl, I just had mine and couldn't even finish them. I was so greedy. That spicy garlic shrimp was the bomb.com. I think it was on my friend Perla's page. And I was just shocked that someone would even write such a thing about someone. Okay, here it is. Dear Food Bank, I don't understand who these poor folks are that need food. I assume they consist primarily of illegals who came to Texas for free stuff, and of course our unemployed Africans who find work too much trouble, especially when they can collect the equivalent of $40,000 a year on welfare and other benefits offered to the unfit, the lazy, and the undereducated, and of course the drug addicts. I expect that most who need food are marching around whining that the congenital liar Hillary Rodham Clinton lost the election. Too bad, how sad. I also wonder if your organization is one of those phony baloney so-called charities designed primarily to provide a good living to its organizers. In short, no way. Citizen Robespierre. Why would you write that? And you know what? And this is why this video is kind of titled The Trump Effect. And I've been going off kilter. Today, somebody posted a video, Delta Airlines flight in Allentown, PA. This fool stood up and let everybody know on the plane. I voted for Trump. Where are all the Hillary bitches? There are kids on the plane, dude. What kind of language are you using? Are you out of your rabbit ass mind? And yes, he has to be. Because I feel like some of these people, because let's not forget, a couple of weeks ago, right after the election, we had a dude down in Miami claiming the Starbucks barista wasn't moving fast enough on his order. And I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? Do y'all feel some type of guilt for voting for this man now that you're starting to realize as he makes decisions that he is not going to be beneficial to anyone other than his own pockets? Okay? I don't get it. He is not for anybody but self and whomever he can get a hookup from. You want to talk about looking for hookups? Donald Trump is looking for hookups. Okay? That's what it is. It's all about connections. And if he can get them from China and Russia, so be it. But the press, thank God for the First Amendment, freedom of the press. I have never heard of this young man. But today I posted clips of his article, and I wanted to share some parts of it here on this live video where he read, I'll say it properly, where he read Mr. Trump and told him about himself. but in a more hoodish way. He read the dog shit and dragged his ass. Okay. Charles Blow at the New York Times. No, he titled it's on the opinion page, and he titled it, "No Trump, we just can't get along." He indicated the various things that Trump had kind of backpedaled on. Donald Trump slept across town on Tuesday to meet with the publisher of the New York Times and some editors, columnists, and reporters at the paper. He seemed to indicate that he wouldn't seek to prosecute Hillary Clinton, but he should have never said that he was going to do that in the first place. He seemed to indicate that he wouldn't encourage the military to use torture, but he should have never said that in the first place. He said that he would have an open mind on climate change, but that should have always been his position. He went on further to say, "You don't get a pat on the back for ratcheting down from Rabbit after exploiting that very radicalism to your advantage. Unrepentant opportunism belies a staggering lack of character and caring that can't simply be vanquished from memory. You did real harm to this country and many of its citizens, and I will never, never forget that." They said during the meeting, he kept saying things like, "I will say the Times, it's a great American jewel, a world jewel, and I hope we can all get along well." Charles Blow said that Trump is an aberration, an abomination who is willing to do and say anything, no matter whom it aligns you with and whom it hurts, to satisfy your ambitions. That's what he's telling Trump. "I don't believe you care much at all about this country or your party or the American people. I believe that the only thing you care about is self-aggrandizement and self-enrichment. Your strongest allegiance is your own cupidity. I also believe that much of your campaign was an act of psychological projection, as we are now learning that many of the things you slammed Clinton for are the things which you may actually be guilty." He talks about the fact that Trump talks about the emails constantly, but there were times in lawsuits that Trump had his people, just like in the firm, just like in Enron, guess what, destroy documentation and emails as well. He said, "You are a fraud and a charlatan. Yes, you will be president, but you will not get any breaks just because one branch of your forked tongue is silver. I am not easily duped by dupes." And I'll close out the next to last paragraph. He says, "No, Mr. Trump, we will not all get along. For as long as a threat to the state is the head of state, all citizens of good faith and national fidelity, and certainly this columnist, have an absolute obligation to meet you and your agenda with resistance at every turn." And if you want to read that, it is posted on my page. And I thought that it was very powerful. And I don't think that we should kumbaya, because Trump did everything he could to desecrate this country and not make it so great again. I don't know what else to say. I noticed, I don't know what's going to happen. The rumor mill is saying that there are some electoral college members who are going to become faithless electorates, I believe is the proper word or phrase. I understand that the Green Party's Jill Stein has called for a recount in Wisconsin. So far, she was able to raise funds. I did ask the question, where's Hillary in this? Because, girl, you won the popular vote. And scientists have already proven, or at least it seems to be, that at least 3 states had some voter fraud going on. So, might want to look into that, Hillary. Maybe you moving in silence. I don't know. But too many of us supported you for you to remain silent. Now, that I will call you out on. I know you out taking walks and people got little memorials or whatever, in your neighborhood. That's cute. But I need for you to come out and say something to the people. Hillary, I love you, girl. Come on out. Come on out. Elena, you are so kind. Girl, I can't wait till the day comes when I am attorney. I can't wait. Oh, Jesus, come on through, Jesus. I might have to start a GoFundMe, though, if y'all want me to take the bar exam again. Y'all know I'm on the Broken Nearby Homeless tour. Shout out to Justin J for stealing part of his old phrases. But I just wanted to talk about that because I thought this was a very well written piece. I think it expresses a lot of the frustration that so many of us have because the Trump effect is real. These people are out there rabbit ass minds. By the way, if anybody is looking for a job, there is a bank executive position available in Alabama if you're willing to go. Let's talk about this hussy who decided to berate once again. By the way, did y'all see this breaking news? They're finally admitting that Fidel Castro is deceased, y'all. What that mean for Cuba? Ain't his little brother running the country? I thought the man been dead secretly, quite frankly. Because I said for some reason they don't want to let us know Fidel dead. He been silent a long time. You know, he loved power. By the way, an update on the man, the veteran who was at Chili's in Cedar Hill, Texas, aka Dallas County. Ernest Walker has now had to move out of his house because of death threats. Let us pray for Ernest Walker and his family's safety. I don't understand why he's being punished for telling the truth. Yes, Helena, Ebony confirmed. I just saw it come across one of my news alerts that Fidel Castro has been pronounced dead. Like I said, I thought the man been dead for quite a few years. So, okay, here it is. June Predmore, a senior-level employee with Regions Bank, welcomed the election of Donald Trump in a social media post that alluded to slavery and suggested President Obama was a Muslim. Here we go again, knee-jerk reaction, Tourette syndrome Trump. I voted him in. I like him. He has a beautiful wife, unlike the ugly and embarrassing woman, for lack of a better word, in the White House. Well, wait a minute, let me do it. I bet she talks like this. In the White House. Now, Miss Trump's face would make Michelle Obama a Sunday face. I'm certainly glad he has a lot of money because he won't be bought out like Barack Socialist Muslim Obama or his wife or all those host of relatives they have in the White House for U.S. to support. Baby girl, let me tell you something. Have you seen what Trump and Melania are plotting on? Melania ain't moving her behind down to D.C. She said she gonna stay in New York. You know what that means? Taxpayers will be paying for that. They will be paying for the security. They have to pay for the Secret Service to stay in the proximity of her to protect her. So I think everybody living in one house together is a good thing. Okay. Furthermore, you should be concerned by the fact that nepotism is already going on with this transition team they got going. So I don't understand what's wrong with you people and why y'all just don't want to see it for what it is. Call a spade a spade. Mr. Trump has played the greatest Ponzi scheme yet, and I believe that Bernie Madoff is sitting in his cell wondering, what the hell? I too could have been president. I'm just saying. Samantha says Hillary making any kind of statement would just inflame the very serious Hillary haters, which would strengthen Trump. These liberal haters know no bounds. Ridiculous. Trump coming into office really got into these folks like crazy. But the sad part about these people reacting the way that they are and having random outbursts like on Delta Airlines, like in Starbucks and everywhere else, I feel as though it's some type of guilt. Like, y'all, like, we realize we made a mistake, but we just gonna hail Trump and hope that he is there for us. I'm trying to figure it out. I really am, because honestly, no one really needs to know who you voted. I think that one of the things that has happened is that social media has made people so comfortable and free, and they think that the First Amendment applies the way that it applies, as in I am allowed to speak. Yes, you are free to say whatever you want to, darling. But companies have to protect their investments. If I was to say some things that were improper, I would understand. If somebody be like, you know what, you got to go, girl. You're making the stock prices go down. You're running off business. You got to go. You can't just say whatever you want to say. I'm sorry. I mean, especially when it's so vile and racist and hateful. I mean, there's no, it's not like we're talking now, like where I'm stating an opinion and trying to be as educated as I can be, for lack of a better term. But I'm just saying, it's like you can't just say these things and think that it's okay. And even when he gets in office, you still gonna catch hell. It don't matter. If he even make it this far, because honey, if these recounts, recalls, electoral college work out, Hillary Clinton might just be president-elect Hillary Clinton. I'm just saying, anything is possible. As I posted today, because I'm trying to encourage myself, miracles happen every day. Amen. It really disturbs me. Another thing that disturbs me is, why are you beating up the babies? Why are you beating and killing the babies? Why? 15-year-old young man walks into this man, 62-year-old white man. He shoots him for bumping into him. Who does that? These are dangerous times we live in, people. I don't know what to do other than to pray, other than to speak out, other than to work towards the goal that I've had for 20 years, and that's to get a license to practice law so I can be in social justice and affect change. I have no intentions of running for public office, though. I don't want to be bought and sold. I don't want to get caught up in the mix. I just don't. Why you had to kill the child? And why did a little boy have to end up in the hospital defending his little sister because some racist kids were beating up on his little sister? Why? What's wrong with y'all? Teach your kids better. There's really only one race, honey, and that's the human race. And I'm tired of it. And you know how Miss Diva feels about them babies, honey. You don't mess with the babies. No, you don't. Let me have been around. It's Miss Pumpkin, why are you smacking? Y'all, my dog, I don't know if y'all heard that. Miss Pumpkin over here smacking. But I wanted to talk about that because I'm like, I'm trying to understand. And then there are our indigenous people. Yesterday was Thanksgiving, which is the day in which we give thanks, which is the day in which the pilgrims were hosted by the indigenous natives, and in which this country was, hell, for lack of a better word, raped, robbed, and pillaged and taken. Standing Rock. I just read an interesting article that gave a different perspective about Standing Rock. And don't get mad at me. I'm just reading what I read. I posted on my page. I didn't get a lot of feedback on it. So, CNN, because I was looking, because someone had asked the question, I believe it was one of my friends, Sean, had asked, what is the president going to do about, or the feds in general going to do about what's going on at Standing Rock? And I keep thinking, because like my mind, first of all, yeah, I hated constitutional law. I know I need it when I practice. I know, just like civil procedure and evidence. But I do have criminal procedure now. I do have criminal procedure now. But I was trying to come up with why it is that the feds haven't exactly intervened. Well, one of the things that happened is somebody in a CNN article, somebody named Fool Bear, said that he's had it with the protesters. He says that more than 2 years ago, when members of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe could have attended hearings to make their concerns known, they didn't care. Now suddenly the crowds are out of control, and he fears it's just a matter of time before someone gets seriously hurt. Samantha, that is on the list. I have the article pulled up because I've only been getting the details about the children murdered. I call it murder because, hell, there is no, dude sound like he was out of control. So, what are your thoughts on the fact that now there is a crisis 2 years later when the Sioux tribe could have said something sooner, and now not later, where we're in a crisis where we're buying things from an Amazon wish list and they're being tear gassed and maced, and the Army Corps of Engineers has said that the pipeline doesn't need to be built there. Should President Obama intervene? Another thing we have to realize is you do realize that America is comprised of the United States as well as the Native Americans. They are a sovereign nation in and of themselves. So, I can't remember exactly in the Constitution where it speaks about the tribes and all of that, but basically what I'm saying is the feds may not be able to intervene anyway unless the Native Americans ask them to intervene, which I don't know if the chiefs or whomever is running. I don't know. My friend Katrina is not on here. She is Native American. Her tribe is out of Alaska, but she is one of the most prolific friends I know. Her and my friend Amanda both practice Native American law. So I don't know the whole details. Comment down below after this video is, why do you think President Obama has not intervened? And I'm not just saying for you to say, oh, because it's for money. No, I'm talking about what's your legal standing? What's your legal basis for why you think that President Obama has not intervened? And I really think it has to do with the fact that the feds just can't come on native lands. Could they tell the corporations to back off? Perhaps. I don't know. I don't know, because I'm not versed completely. The only thing I know about Native America is this, about the Indian Child Protection Act, because the first year of law school, that first semester in writing for the libraries, that was the first thing we talked about, was the fact that any child of native birth, be it that they're half, however many percentages, the tribe has first right to take the child. That much I do know about Native American law. Let's talk about the bus driver incident in, okay, Lewis says the land is sovereign and they don't have jurisdiction. That's what I'm thinking too. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know, but I can respect the fact that for the life of me, with fracking and all of that, we need to find an alternative fuel source. We really do. Because Oklahoma has had a number of earthquakes. Normally you only hear about earthquakes over here on the West Coast. But when you've got earthquakes in Texas and Oklahoma and even places like, what was it, Pennsylvania a couple of years ago, you got to start saying maybe fracking ain't the way to go. It just ain't necessary. And why would you want to pollute water supplies? We don't need another Flint, Michigan. We don't need, I forgot what the little town is. They don't talk about it that much, but there's a little town down in Louisiana with just as dirty water as Flint. Let's see what else. Okay, so I have the article pulled up. The Chattanooga school bus driver. I believe 6 children's lives have been lost in this incident. What was his name? He looked crazy too. What was this young man's name? So on Monday, there was a bus crash. As it turns out, this man was not even on the proper route he was supposed to be in. The children had complained already that he was driving reckless and that they would often end up bumping their heads. Jonathan, what how this man name? Jonathan Walker, he should not have been driving the bus, is what it sounds like to me. Let me see what this article says, because that's why I say I really haven't read, but this happened in Chattanooga, Tennessee on Monday. At least 5 children were killed in the crash, school official says, and 6 others were hospitalized. And the death toll has gone up to 6, I believe, because I just saw a post on Thanksgiving where a parent had posted that their little soldier didn't make it. So to me personally, the school district or will be found liable. There will be a wrongful death suit. They were negligent in not removing this young man in a time when they should have. I don't know, Samantha, do you know if they found drugs in his system or anything like that? Yeah, they don't care about our kids, Samantha. They don't. It is outrageous to see the police treating humans the way that they do. I don't understand why they're doing that, but okay. regardless of whether the people spoke up in the time in which they did, if that is in fact what happened, lessons can be learned about not using your voice to speak out in an appropriate time, just like we're learning from this election this time, how crucial it was for us. Even if Hillary couldn't have won even if Hillary didn't win, we still should have been paying attention to, as I said, throughout the entire election period, when I figured out what was going on in the legislature, is that we should pay attention to who's getting a seat at the table. Who gonna be writing legislation? Excuse me. That's good. Maybe my next side hustle should be a mixologist. Okay, another thing I want to talk about is, I live in the city of Angels, or in the county of the Angels, and every day outside my office, and I've posted about it and I've talked about it, trying to figure out what to do about it. Homelessness in Southern California, probably even in Northern California. I know in the middle it shouldn't be because it's nothing but farmland. There is a man that lives under the 110 freeway and has built a very luxurious compound, okay? He done went around the neighborhoods and picked up all random things that he could. His name is Ciola Waddell Jr., a.k.a. Mr. Dice. And he's at war with this. So Mr. Dice calls his palace the Airbnb. He has even written out space, y'all, for $25 a week to another homeless man. I guess he must get an SSI check. Or what are those checks called here? GR, whatever, emergency funds, where you get like $300, $400. So he's renting it out. Now, the thing is, though, is that the city has come and destroyed his compound a couple of times, but he just rebuilds. And part of it, they say, is for safety reasons. Girl, no, I pulled up the article, and Samantha, and the damn music started playing on. I hate when they do that, so I have to always remember to keep my actual laptop on mute when I'm doing these videos. This is ridiculous. Basically, they said that they have dismantled and carted off his handiwork. Last week, workers removed a refrigerator with an abundance of rotting food, explosive materials, and other unhealthy items, said Bureau of Sanitation spokesperson Elena Stern said. But the city of LA, when they had their voting, basically passed to have some money set up to try to get rid of homelessness. Now, the problem with Mr. Waddell, like countless others, the reason why they turned down services is because, well, they're perfectly fine living under the grid. Which sometimes I think about disappearing for about 7 years under the grid, but then I realize I'm cute and I like being fabulous. Anywho, maybe I should have stayed in the military a little bit longer and learned some survival skills. But it really concerns me that we do have this homeless problem, and the fact that there is always some sort of price to be paid for becoming part of the system. So I don't know, but I look out every day outside my office, and there are shanty towns. When I drive on the 710 home, there are tent cities up by the railroad tracks, by the LA River, and it's just really disturbing. And then our mayor recently was in DC, and he was saying how he was doing something about the homelessness. And in my mind, I was like, you just lied about that so you could go see Michelle Obama and all her family. Maybe you are doing something, but I need to see it to believe it, Mayor Garcia. Because you need to be doing more than painting rainbows and piano keys in crosswalks for me to be impressed. Okay. And I'm still waiting on this low income housing that you said you done built, because so far all I see is multi-million-dollar skyscrapers going up. Will there be affordable housing in them? Do you not have it set up where if a developer comes in, where they promise, in addition to building the $2,000, $2,500 a month one bedrooms, that they will also have something reasonable for people like me? Because damn, I'm there. let me get off that soapbox. But all I'm saying is this: homelessness is a problem, and why don't y'all just leave this man alone? He has set up shop. If he got bad food, take the food, but don't throw away his other stuff. That's all I'm saying. What else? Anything else? Let me look at these, because I think I've covered everything. By the way, Jocelyn Hernandez just posted a picture to her Facebook showing off her very pregnant self. As you know, her and Sir Stevie J are going through some things about who the baby daddy. Okay. Let's see. Samantha says that she's so proud to see Native Americans doing everything they can for health and purity of the land. I love them because they're showing white people how to love and treat this beautiful land that capitalistic greed is destroying. I posted recently on my Instagram, and I think it fed over to my public page. By the way, shout out to all my friends and family. I got one group text message yesterday, and it was from people I actually know. Praise God. I love y'all for that, because all my Diva sisters were on the text message. I was like, I know these people. Thank you. Okay. When the last tree is cut down, the last river poisoned, the last fish caught, then only will the white man discover that he cannot eat money. No, I'm going through comments because I think I'm going to wrap it up. I think I'm done. Guess I will plug in about Kanye West. One of my sorority sisters posted on her page a little video, probably all of maybe 30 seconds to 1 minute, about mental health in the hip hop community. 5 rappers, a couple of them I'd never heard of. One of the members of Run DMC was dealing with some sort of anxiety, depression. People, I just don't think that people really want to embrace the fact that it's possible for people to be multimillionaires and crack under pressure and actually have something mentally wrong with them. I want us to stop being in denial about the possibilities of that not being possible. The reason why I advocate so much is because I have issues in my own life that I've had to deal with, from depression, situational depression, all types of stuff, because, like I've said time and time again, this is my testimony. Had it not been for someone that actually cared enough about me to keep me from falling apart and coming completely undone, I don't know if I would be here today in the state in which I am, conscious, I should say, because when I didn't pass the bar exam, that devastated me. I was devastated, and it cut bad. Oh, it cut bad. I was like, why can't I pass the bar? Why are all my friends superseding me? And then I went and got help, and now I'm better, because the bar exam does not define who I am, because I am Miss Sophia the Diva, with or without a bar passage, okay? And I found out some wonderful things about me. Comedy saved my life. I may not do it as often as I used to do it, but it is something that saved me from myself, okay? So I can only say that I'm grateful for mental health professionals. Some of my good friends are mental health professionals, be it that they're social workers or actual licensed practicing therapists. It's a wonderful thing. I encourage you to go get some help. If you need pills, that's okay too. Get you some pills. Ain't nothing wrong with popping a few pills. If you don't feel right, go back and tell that doctor to get it right for you, okay? Let's see. Who is not mentally? Kid Cudi. Somebody was talking bad about him. I don't know this dude. I can't tell you one song, but Kevin Gates, he still get a side eye from me though, but he claims that he has depression. I was like, well, maybe we should have had you on Angry Black Man with Yana Van Zandt, because you kicked that girl. Were you anxious then when you kicked her? But either way, let me stop talking about him. But he said he has depression. And we have Kanye, who has had a complete meltdown. I continue to say that he is bipolar. Some people don't want to believe that, but I've been based upon these rants, even though he speaks in what I like to call a stream of consciousness. Like, I watched one of his rants and really listened to it. Not the recent ones, but the one he did on Ellen. like a few months back, maybe a year ago, I got it. I understood what he was saying. One of my other friends I was having a discussion with said that if Kanye had really wanted to start his own clothing line on his own, he would have. But just because you have the money doesn't mean you can actually execute unless the powers that be do. I don't know how serious that is, but if the powers that be told him to make some Skid Row clothes, they were wrong for that. Okay. But I still just say, let's just pray for Kanye. He's always been a little egotistical, narcissistic, which is something we kind of loved about him. But at the same time, I think that ambition and not taking care of himself, it kind of just broke him. So we laugh and joke, about the fact that he's with the Kardashian. They do have a track record. I do call them the sirens of Hollywood. Homer's Odyssey. If you don't remember that, you should have read it in high school. But at the same time, there were some issues before the Kardashians. Some of us just may not have noticed. There was an article that came out where they were saying that Beyonce, which I don't know why this is news, Beyonce was trying to encourage Jay-Z to reach out to Kanye. And of course, I'm just like, why would y'all report that as news? Jay and Bae distanced themselves from him after, pretty much after he got with Kim. And I can understand that. I personally wouldn't want to be around after that either. But that is my opinion. I know some of us on here ride for the Kardashians. I ain't gonna say no names. But I love you. But that's what makes us homies. Lewis says the one on stage that Kanye did in Sacramento was interesting. At that point, I think Kanye was just crying out for help. Like, somebody please cut the mic and get me to the hospital. Anyway, let me give my shout outs and I'm going to log off. I'm probably forgetting some stuff, but I did want to talk about that. Y'all leave these babies alone out here in these streets just because they black. You got crazy black parents and crazy black villagers like myself. You don't touch the babies, okay? You Trump supporters that want to get crunk, get wild, and start beating up on kids, something wrong with y'all. Something wrong. Y'all need to be down at UCLA Medical Center right along with Kanye or wherever, 8th floor, 9th floor, whatever floor it is at your hospital. That's where you need to pooch on down to, okay? Maria, Ashanti. By the way, y'all need to check out Ashanti. That's my wigologist. Sometimes my makeup artist. Check her out. She is on this thread. If y'all need y'all face beat. Okay. Even if you didn't say anything, I can see you in the feeds. Keith. Oh my God, Keith. Drummer. Give the drummer some. Let's see. Tamara. Leah, I miss you. We have to have another play date with the dogs. Thank you guys for the hair compliments. This is just one of the girls. Miss Regina. Keith, give the drummer some. One badass drummer. Y'all need drummer. Come down there, hip y'all's little church drummer out. Y'all holler at me. I'll hook y'all up. No. Sora Pam, thank you so much for joining. People are believing the fake news. Girl, there's so much fake news on Facebook. I mean, I just don't get it. Andrea, thanks for joining. Yeah, Keith, if folks get educated, we could end racism, but some people love ignorance. Remember, people love a beautiful lie, but hate the ugly truth. Sophia, thank you, Helena. Like I said, if y'all want me to become a lawyer, we might have to do a GoFundMe. Okay, Diva got tax bills and student loans. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. Let us all pray for a financial miracle. There will be no kumbaya. Shout out to my cousin, the Reverend W. Terrell Sneed II. Shout out to the homie vocalist, Ebony Jones. Charles. Sometimes, Charles, I feel like calling you Cutting Charles. Everybody say hi to Charles. He is a freaking genius. I can't stand him sometimes. His intelligence level is like through the roof. Wish I had his brave power. Hey, Regina. Oh, wait a minute. What was I talking about when you said nervous breakdown? Yeah. Oh, you must be talking about Trump supporters. I think they having a Trump. Okay, Ebony, I'm going to need 5 on it. Regina, I think she does need to talk to us, but then I also think that if she does say something, who knows what could happen. Rest in peace to Carol Brady, aka Florence Henderson. She passed away, and that is so amazing because she was just at Dancing with the Stars Monday night for the finale, and she seemed fine. But you know, you just never know how life can turn out. Fidel Castro, they said he died at 90. Again, my theory is the man been dead a good 5 or 6 years. Because when did he disappear from public life? And they said he had cancer. And supposedly in Cuba, they have a cure for cancer, a cure for diabetes, and all that good stuff. Well, not good stuff, but all the bad stuff, but they got the good stuff to fix it. Ridiculous Trump coming into the office really got these folk acting crazy. Lewis, Nichelle, Cece, we talked about Standing Rock. Karima, I'm so glad you went out to paintball. Better you than me, girl. Ashanti said that for the bus accident, the news said that one of the children that is recovering said that he had asked if they were ready to die before flipping the bus over. Oh my God. So the bus driver must have been on a suicide mission and decided to take the kids with him. Oh my God. Also, Samantha notes that he had previous accidents and the kids were complaining, and I feel like the parents did everything they could. Lewis believes that Barack and Hillary built the platform for Donald Trump. Okay, I'm not going to touch that one. Hey, Diane, Davi, Malcolm, another funny comedian. Wendy William, wigologist, is on point since her old one died over the summer. I know, bless his heart, he had lupus. That's another cause that's near and dear to my heart too, because I have a cousin and a couple of friends that have lupus. As a matter of fact, my best friend, one of them from high school, has lupus. So that's a big deal to me. She would do the Crisco commercial. I remember when she did the Crisco commercials, and I remember as a little kid, they always came on while I was watching the soap operas with Aunt Betty. And I was like, that's Carol Brady. I would get so excited because she was doing the canola oil commercials. Let us just pray for our homeless, our mentally ill. Let's pray for our indigenous brothers and sisters. Let us pray for a resolution to this conflict about land. I think too many people subscribe to the Gordon Gekko method of greed is good. And at the end of the day, like the old saying goes, I have yet to see a Brinks truck coming up behind a damn hearse. Now you gonna put all your money in the damn grave. What you gonna do with it? And I did tell you one thing. Go back and watch some of the old Tupac interviews. I saw it the other day, and then I saw it again today where he was talking about it makes no sense for the wealth gap to be what it is. It's so top heavy, and you have people down below in this country. It makes no sense for someone to have $40-50 million and for people to be homeless. Yes, you may have earned it, but at the same time, you got to give back. The problem is that we have to be careful who we give our money to when we donate, because we never know who's being dirty. I mean, that's just it. But that's all I've got. I will talk to you guys soon. And this has been a Friday night edition of A Diva Disturbed. Good night. Thanks for joining. Damn it, I forgot. I knew it. See, I need to start back doing what I used to do. Do a damn list. I know y'all ain't coming back, but here we go. First of all, I just want to thank the countless people who came on my page the other day and congratulated me and liked multiple times my announcement that I got an audition with America's Got Talent. I wanted to come forth and come clean and let y'all know that I was part of a prank scheme that had me pick from a list of 15 some things that I could do. And I said the most likeliest one on here that people would actually believe is that I got selected for America's Got Talent. No, I did not. I did not have an audition. That was just part of a joke. I am so sorry. It was a farce. But I did want to inform you guys, I appreciate the love that you guys did show me for if I had. One of the things I did share with someone is that if I had in fact ever gotten an audition with America's Got Talent, I would never tell anyone until I actually got on. I've had too many... I hate to say it, but I've had too many failures for me to ever announce something like that. I have to wait until I actually get it, and then we can talk about it. So, again, thank you, and I will expect that same type of love and likes and recognition the next time I request that y'all come down here to the comedy club and watch me perform. So maybe I can really get on America's Got Talent. And now that Def Comedy Jam is back, maybe I can get on there too. Okay, but I need y'all to support a diva if a diva is performing, okay? Well, whenever I get back in the mood. Again, shout out to Johnny Flowers for believing in my abilities, and Johnny Gold too, because that's my boy. He be down with the diva, okay? Everyone enjoy your Friday, enjoy your weekend. But that's all I've got. And thank you guys for the love and support again. But no, I'm not going on America's Got Talent. Mwah.